All right, how's it going, everybody? Today I'll be discussing the final that I watched, and I watched the 1960s Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock. Um, I could say many things about this movie. I didn't know what to expect going into it, but at the end of the movie, I was astonished, actually. I didn't expect half the things to happen that did. It was so future based, and I could see how much stuff in the film industry has been helped and mimicked and used by the same things that Alfred Hitchcock used. One of them could be, the monsters being used, the sexual content, um, the actual violence shown, um, the use of, killing off the main character in the middle of the film, rather than the end is what most people are used to seeing. Um, yeah, those are a few of the things that I'm going to be going through during my final video blog. And I hope you guys learned something. So, monsters before Psycho were mainly based on being, monsters. The villain was always a monster. Well, in Psycho, it kind of takes you to a different part where the monster is a human. And not just that, the monster is actually his brain. And so that really, changed the way movies were made because everyone was expecting, a monster or this or that. They never expected the psychology that would come out of, Norman Bates and his character. So you see movies based off of the same type of kind of characters. You got Jason, Scream, Bonnie and Clyde, Freddy, Michael Myers. It goes on and on. It just revolutionized it and made people really think that humans could be monsters as well. The film really tested what was allowed on film. Before that, there's a code which allows certain amounts of gore or sexual content or certain things like that. And Alfred Hitchcock wanted to make the movie Psycho in color, but he knew that it would never pass the codes that were, what's the word I'm looking for, in place. So he put it in black and white, and especially during the famous shower scene where, Janet Leigh is killed off in the middle of the movie, which was unlike any other movie in the past. The main character usually always lived, or if they didn't, they died at the very end. And nowadays you see all the time moviegoers and directors and always trying to shock the audience by doing something crazy, mimicking Alfred Hitchcock from the movie Psycho. Everything he placed in that movie has been used, and further, obviously the technology we have nowadays allows people to do way more things that he couldn't do. But the things that he did with the technology he had revolutionized every movie that was made after it. He was the first person to use first-person view during a murder, although it was introduced in Peeping Tom, a British movie, about a month before that, but it wasn't used in the same type of way. You see the shower scene where Janet dies. It's first person from the murderer's perspective. You don't actually ever see the knife stab her, but the way that it's filmed gives you the feeling that it actually is happening. You see that nowadays all the time, a first person view of the killings and everything like that. You can go into things of sexual content. In the beginning of the movie, the opening scene starts with Janet and her lover Sam in bed. They're not married together. And the way Alfred sets it up is he makes you believe that they just had sex and that, that's what you're supposed to think. Well, that had never been done before. They had never, before that, movies didn't show anything like that. If it was married couple and they would kiss here and there, but it was never unmarried or anything like that. It really tested the limits of, the production's code. Another big thing I really want to talk about if I can squeeze in some time, is the music. I mean, the violins that were played during the scene of the killing allowed so much area to grow later on for other directors. I mean, if you turn the sound off during the shower scene, it's completely different than if you turn the music on. The shriekiness, the creepiness of the music really helped the scene and revolutionized how a film is made. I mean, you see it every day now of music, the creepy music, The Conjuring, you know, Insidious, all these creepy movies about demons and all this stuff. They always use really creepy music in the background when something's about to happen. And that was taken directly from Alfred Hitchcock. I could keep going on and on and on. He really showed he was the first person to be unpredictable. Okay, so other people, the movie was always, okay, well, we know what's going to happen. Okay, Jaws, there's a shark. You know what's going to happen. There's this, there's that. In Psycho, the whole time, Norman Bates does not seem like the man he really is. You think the mother's alive, and it just shocks you when you find out the truth. And I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it, so you should really go check it out. That about does it for me. I really enjoyed this class, and I hope you guys enjoyed my final blog, and I hope you guys understand how Alfred Hitchcock really revolutionized, the way films are made and how, they're created and filmed, the view, the actresses, the actors, everything. It was really just amazing.